I really don't like making videos like this. I'd much rather talk about Star Wars and the mysteries of the Force and what's going on in that galaxy far, far away instead of, talking about real life. Because, I mean, let's face it, real life sucks. It's not the best. Star Wars is way better. But this is something that is just so big and it affects the galaxy far, far away in such a major way that I kind of have to talk about it. Now, this is probably just going to be an unscripted rant, so I don't know if I'll even edit anything, and I don't know, I'll probably just put a Battlefront clip over it or something like that. Anyway, but before we get started, of course, be sure to like the video, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more Star Wars content. Go ahead and join our little community of Star Wars fans here. And now let's just get into the video about why I think that Kathleen Kennedy will not be coming back to Lucasfilm. First off, it's important to note that one of the main reasons that, well, pretty much the only reason that I'm even talking about this is because her contract expires sometime this year. Nobody really knows when, but by the end of 2021, her contract is over. And there has been no indication that it will be renewed. So, personally, I think that Kathleen Kennedy is going to leave Lucasfilm because, well, she already has, basically. I mean, she never comes out into the public to address the fans. She never takes the time to talk about the actual story of Star Wars, like what's going on. She never addresses the major issues that the fans are calling to be addressed. She never puts herself out there at all. She just kind of hides, really. She only appears every now and again to give us some random message that most of the time has nothing to do with Star Wars. I remember back in the day when George was in charge, it seemed like every time that he was interviewed, it would always be about Star Wars. They would ask him how he made it, what was, like next in the story, was he doing anything different with technology in the Star Wars movies? I mean, every question that was asked was addressed to the president of Lucasfilm was asked about Star Wars. Every question seemed to be regarding Star Wars. And now Kathleen Kennedy is acting more like a really bad public relations person or maybe a human resources specialist whenever she talks. Both of those positions are incredibly important in any company, but the president of Lucasfilm should be at the public center of every Star Wars project. And I don't feel like she is. I felt like she was during The Force Awakens, like when the time was, when Star Wars was revamping and everything like that. Before The Force Awakens came out, even after The Force Awakens came out, she was right there, front and center, and then The Last Jedi happened, and she's kind of disappeared, and I feel like that's really just her setting herself up to leave. The most I've seen her talk about Star Wars was during the Disney Investors Day meeting, where she announced all those new Star Wars projects that Lucasfilm is going to be working on. And that was great. I loved seeing that, and I'd want to see more of that. More of her actually talking about Star Wars instead of talking about literally anything else. Now, of course, obviously, I know that the main reason why she doesn't come out and talk at all is because a lot of fans would absolutely rip her apart if she did. I mean, just look at the recent Oscar video thing that happened. I mean, it just got ratioed to Tatooine and back, I mean, I think it got so bad that they disabled comments and likes on it or something like that, or they took it down, or something happened with it because so many Star Wars fans came after that. But I think that if she would have stayed in the spotlight and would have listened and explained her decisions to the fans, regarding the sequel trilogy or hiring and firing random directors on a whim, it seems, or just everything else that has made Lucasfilm a mess, I think that she would have gained a lot more respect, and plus would have been able to explain herself a little bit better, and kind of would have been able to set up a defense against all the people who were calling her out and, saying negative things about her. Like, for example, instead of saying that her and so-and-so, whoever was directing that project, that one movie, Star Wars thing, instead of saying that her and him had creative differences, tell us what that was. Tell us what actually happened. Like, say, hey, this guy wanted to do this with Luke Skywalker and we stopped him. Or this guy would have given you guys a really crappy Solo movie and we stopped him. And instead we gave you guys this solid adventure movie, or like, hey, Rogue One, remember how awesome that was? Well, this guy wanted to do this and it wouldn't have been as great, so you're welcome. You know, I feel like, I don't know how to put this, I feel like she didn't stand up for herself at all, which again is incredibly important for a leader. You need to be understanding, of course, you need to be compassionate, you need to listen to the fans, but I feel like I would have had more respect for her if she would have come out and actually stood up for the decisions that she made. You know, she would have come out and said, like, hey, I know that you guys didn't really like The Last Jedi, but this is the reason why I did what I did. I know that you guys are upset about this thing, and this is the reason why I did it. And not only that, I feel like she would have been able to defend herself, because right now she's not defending herself, and people are just raking her over the coals because, you know, she hasn't explained any of her decisions or given any reason as to why she's doing things. Anyway, I told you guys that this was going to be a rant video, and it is. Anyway, I just feel like she should have stuck around, and if she never would have left the spotlight, and if she would have taken the criticism up front, then she would not be in such a precarious position, you know, as she's in right now. And it's because of this situation that she's probably going to be let go as president of Lucasfilm. Another reasoning is that Disney is all about that money. I mean, they can say whatever they want, they can virtue signal as hard as they want, which is fine, by the way. You know, they are their own company. And as a company, they have the right to do whatever they want and say whatever they want, as long as they are not physically hurting people, obviously. But, you know, they have to be willing to pay the price. And Disney is willing to pay the price at times, and only for a while. And I believe that the time is coming where they are thinking, okay, now we really need to cash in on Star Wars. And now is the time for them to really start making that money for themselves. And I feel like Kathleen Kennedy is more or less standing in the way of Disney cashing in on their potentially, well, not even potentially, on definitely their most lucrative franchise. I mean, look at The Mandalorian. It is the most streamed show in the entire world, and it's not even close. So they really need to take the opportunity and cash in on this Star Wars momentum that is going to be coming, especially with all the shows that are coming out. And Kathleen Kennedy, just her presence, her being there, is costing them. I mean, so many fans, even people commenting on this channel, have said that they will not come back to Star Wars until Kathleen Kennedy leaves. Now, say what you will about that decision, whether you agree with it or not is irrelevant, because those people are still not going to spend money on Star Wars until she's gone. So I think that Disney will move her aside, or that she will, you know, step down on her own, but we all know what that means. You know, because those people, the people who feel offended and who have left Star Wars, those are the people who go see the movies, you know, 5 or 6 times in theaters, who binge watch The Mandalorian over and over again. Those are the people who go out and buy merchandise. And we're not just talking about the cheap little toys, we're talking about, like, you know, the really expensive Black Series, you know, the really expensive NeoPixel lightsabers, all that stuff. Those diehard fans are the ones who, you know, do that stuff. And a lot of them have said, all right, well, until this issue gets resolved, I'm not going to spend any more money. And that is costing Disney. I don't know. All of this could just be a bunch of bullcrap, and Kathleen Kennedy could renew her contract, and Lucasfilm would just keep on going in the direction that they are going. Which, I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be the best, but it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world either. I don't know. Either way, whatever happens, I am still excited for the future of Star Wars. We have Kenobi, The Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, The Acolyte, you know, all of these shows. The Bad Batch, which is coming out on May 4th. It's going to be awesome, and it's going to push Star Wars in an even better direction. And whether or not Kathleen Kennedy is involved in that, I don't know if that will really affect the story. I mean, again, at the end of the day, all I want, and what I think most of us want, is we just want good Star Wars content. And I hope that we keep getting good Star Wars content, and things just keep moving up and up, and we can all just leave all this negativity behind. I mean, would firing Kathleen Kennedy and moving on to someone else help with that? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. I think that it might. And then just move forward with hope and optimism, and get back to feeling excited about Star Wars. Anyway, that's just a rant of things that I just feel like I needed to get these things off my chest, and hopefully now I can get back to making videos about actual Star Wars. Anyway, but yeah, so that's it for today's video. If you guys liked what you saw today, be sure to like the video and subscribe for more Star Wars content, and as always, remember to forever be a Star Wars fan.